this might be the last episode of the Mega Powers going to get cancelled.
Hello, wrestling fans. This is DJ Magic J with the hip hop original Scandoos and the honorary side inside the building. We got a Mac Pack show tonight. We got so much people in attendance. You got what I'm saying? We got people from the Midlands. We got people flying across the world. We got. I'm jealous right now because I never went to Mania. But hey, we're here. Obviously for WrestleMania night 1 and 2. So before we start, everyone, as what Scandoos always says, and what do you say in our shows?
Yep, so get the hand nice and warmed up. We're going to go through the screen with it and do the mega power handshake.
Come on, Nicky.
Nicky, where you at? Mr.
You know what?
NXT.
I almost forgot it.
Oh, yeah, get it in.
I think it's coming like that.
Oh, let's go.
Mega powers, yeah.
Welcome to the Mega Powers TV. And yeah, man. Yeah, those of you we met already. Shout out to Mr. NXT. I had to get you one. You know what I mean? Big up to my brother, Grant Buddy P. Big up to all the Wolves crew. You get what I'm saying? And also shout out to Nicky's there. Welcome, and let's kick it off.
And let's start with the stage. Let's have people's thoughts on the arena, the stage, and the atmosphere. Let's go to Grant. What did you think of the stage, the atmosphere, and the ambience of WrestleMania as it opened up?
Yeah, I'm a fan of WrestleMania stages. 41 they came correct. I love how they presented it. They had the screens like during they got the screens during the ramp going down the rampway. So yeah. I really love that aspect of it. One thing I did like, which was almost unusual, was that when it comes to these big stadiums, and you got the ring, and then you've got like something else over it. You've got like I think they do it more for the outdoor arenas though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that they didn't have that there, so everyone can get a good view. So I did like all that. I'm thinking, yeah, man, yeah. I remembered, taking it back to 17, obviously WrestleMania 17. That was always one of my all-time favorite stages. The way that was done. But yes, yeah, man, I did like the whole presentation of it, man, for sure.
It was a clean setup. I really liked it, especially the crowd sitting on the stage. I thought that was a really nice feature because people were getting free upgrades on the day, which was wild. Like they were just walking in, they were getting told they're going on stage. So that was really cool. The crowd was dead. The Americans need to give up Mania. That's all I'm going to say. They need to give it up. They need to give it up.
But you know what, though? That's an interesting point because considering how much they've paid to get into the building, why would you turn up to WrestleMania and be dead? And you come over the world. It don't make no sense.
There was one shot for me, and it was right as Punk was coming down to the ring for his entrance, right? And they cut very quickly just to 3 guys who were all on the phone. And I was just like, that's like, come on, man. But the only thing that took away from me from the weekend was the crowd. Like, really, I don't know what they were doing there, man. If you told me there was 10,000 people, I believe you. Like, it was dead.
With the crowd, yeah. I like criticizing things, but I'll give some slack and grace to the crowd because there wasn't a lot of interesting story and booking and wrestling to work with on night 1. They definitely responded to the Punk main event. There were loud roars and oohs and ahs and near full finishes, but no one gave a fuck with New Day and War Raiders. No one gave a fuck when it came to what else match was on there that no one gave a shit about? Charlotte and Tiffany, because they just sandbagged each other. So I give a bit of grace to the crowd because I think when the story came out and when the real matches came out, the crowd did come alive a bit better. We weren't given a lot to deal with.
But then that's the reason why on that too, Stone Cold made that little joke, but it was really a huge indirect when he was like, I know how many people are in here, sit down and let me count. Like, I knew like making those connections is crazy because something that we all know Stone Cold has, like he's got those, I think he's got the best mic skills of any WWE superstar, past, present.
Not the best driving.
I will even say future, okay, like because he's still alive. Thank you, Jesus. But, that I think that's why he even made that joke. I think he needed that energy. There was definitely a huge connection there.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely,
good shout.
man.
That's a good point.
Absolutely. So the first match was obviously the Yeet Master main event, Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. A match that for the majority of the build, wrestling fans crapped all over. They thought it was a disrespect to Gunther. They thought Gunther should have just washed him. But they managed to pick it up with the story beats like the last few weeks, and people got excited for it, man. But did the match live up to the hype? What did you guys think?
Really and truly, the match itself was like a 6 out of 10.
Mm.
Six out of 10, I'll give it. But then I think the finisher, you didn't see it coming. So that's why I'm giving it a six. The finisher, you definitely didn't see it coming. I didn't think that he was going to lose by submission. Never, ever, ever would I have ever even put Gunther and Jay, like, even in that situation, like, to even think of how the match was going to end. Personally, me and the guys on Kickout discussed this in the group chat. We all thought that Jimmy was going to come and cost Jay the match. So I was actually looking forward to that happening because the whole thing in London, when the whole thing with Jimmy versus Gunther and him licking the blood, all of that, it was just too far. And we were thinking, Jimmy's going to want revenge and he's going to mess this up for his brother. That's really the narrative that we had. And when it didn't happen, and then it was kind of like a quick win right at the end, because really, truly, Gunther, he didn't hold out that long. And like, I can't lie, that match almost had me in tears. Because I remember Jey Uso when he first came. I remember the Usos' first match in WWE. So it made me a bit emotional. I was screaming. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, well, if this is a world heavyweight title match, why is it not, the main event? So I was battling back and forward with these opinions. So when it happened, I was like, you know what? He deserved this. For sure, for sure. And it was definitely a deserving win of him because the energy of the match was Jay's not going to do this. That was the energy of the match. But then for a beginning match, yeah, they started on a high, but I still rate it as sort of like a mid 6 out of 10.
But Nick, at least we got a better match than having two Usos fighting each other because that was boring as fuck.
That's the bar. That's the bar we have to
absolutely
rise above.
I didn't want to see that. If I saw that again, I promise you, like, I took a nap before WrestleMania to energize myself. I would have gone straight back to bed. I would have gone straight back to bed. I'm like, what the heck? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
No,
I'm going to run through, because I agree with Nicky. I'll give it a 6 out of 10 as well. I definitely don't think it should have main evented. I was particularly disappointed with this match. I thought just from the beginning, like, I think the whole reason Jay won this Royal Rumble was to get this beautiful shot in the stadium of 1 million people yeeting. And I don't think they really got that celebration. And it was kind of because of the story. He came in with two minds. No yeeting, I'm fucking serious. I'm going to kill you. You touched my brother. And then you did a collar and elbow tie up in the beginning of the fucking match. Right, that's one thing. Look, and for me, there's a 2/3 part of the match, right, where I thought the meat and potatoes were really going to come out. He said he'd be unrecognizable to the Lord and his mum for the man he was going to have to become to beat Gunther, and that never happened. Not one moment. He smiled when he got smashed up a little bit, but that was it. I like the finish. I don't like that Gunther tapped so quickly. I think beating him with the choke was a good idea because it continued the story. Gunther kept coming from behind in the early weeks and he choked his brother out that way. I would have liked Gunther to pass out just to protect him. Like, he had 3 splashes. Him passing out to it, I get it. There's a history of Gunther when the roles are reversed. He sort of weakens to the underdog. But nah. But yeah, that's how I felt. I gave it probably a 6 out of 10. Of course, it was beautiful to see Jay win. We've been with him through all the bloodline story. Of course, it was beautiful to see Jimmy come in the ring and hug his brother. But it didn't make up for what I think that little meat and potatoes bit of the match that we missed on. The match was like what, 19? How many minutes? 16 minutes? 13 minutes?
It's
They
about
could have done with
15
that.
minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Grab
I
it.
want to.
Cool.
Sorry, I'd like to add on to that. Yeah, I've got to agree with the 6 out of 10, and especially the story that was told on the build up to it. I can't remember if I mentioned it in a chat or somewhere, who I mentioned it to somebody on the phone. This match and a few others on the card, I felt like they were WrestleMania 25-ish in its approach. What I mean by that is some of these feuds were built on hatred, but then when it came to the match, you know, it was almost traditional wrestling moves. When I wanted to see fists thrown, kicks thrown, steel chairs took out, especially in the case of this one. You're choking out Jimmy like that. And Jay's like, what are you doing? I'm going to kill you, blah, 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 blah. And it just turned out to be a good old traditional wrestling match with a surprising ending. I mean, okay, it was the first match, and people want to feel good after the first match. Have a babyface win the first match, so everyone's in good spirits after the first match, the opening match. I get all that, but yeah, man, that was my brother. I mentioned it last week. Yo, steel chairs are coming out, man. Even if it disqualified myself, I'm like, well, boy, not confident this belt, but. There you go. People says gone for things are lost and whatnot. But I'm thinking, but listen, gone for beat Jay how many times already? So it's like, if Jay don't beat him this time, then come on, man.
Yeah, Jay had to win. Yeah,
They had to win, man. Mr. NXT.
I'm just taking in the nonsense that I'm hearing. That's all I'm doing. I'm just taking in the nonsense. That's just
what specifically do you disagree with?
6 out of 10 is outrageous. Outrageous.
It's too much.
Far too much.
I think you're right. I think 6 out of 10 is too high.
I'm gonna be real, okay? And I agree with yourself. God's got to forgive me. My moms have got to forgive me. All of this stuff, and then we get a one-on-one match with no stipulation, no surprises, no sneaky tactics from Jay showing a bit of a heel edge, nothing. No sneaky chair, nothing like that, right? Gunther, I don't know what they're going to do next. I have no idea what they're going to do next. Made him look weak as hell, in my opinion. Tapped far too quickly. The fact he tapped at all is outrageous, in my humble opinion. Jay wasn't the right call. It wasn't the right call. Should have been Gunther to retain. That's just my going on first. I think it was the wrong move as well. I'm sorry. I wholeheartedly disagree with WWE on this one. I normally back them, but I wholeheartedly disagree on this one. I think it was a really bad call. Unless they got something really special planned with Gunther, as we found out on Raw. Unless they're doing something special, I think they've messed up a little bit there.
They are doing something special. They're going to send him to TNA after Monday. Like, that's what they're going to do with Gunther, because there's nothing else for him to do. He was probably one of the most, out of the 20-something years that I've been watching wrestling, he's probably one of the most boring world heavyweight champions ever. I find him so boring with his big shoes. Like, he's just,
I can't hold this space with such disrespect for the ring general. He's one of the best wrestlers alive.
Everybody's allowed an opinion, even if it's wrong. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. We're all entitled to an opinion. All right.
And he's fighting Michael Cole at Backlash, so I don't know what you're talking about.
The only thing I'll add is that I agree. I feel it should have been a stipulation. I feel
Jay was missing it big time.
Angry as death after my guy. Should have battered him. It should have really been a violent squash match, man. Like this obliterated Gunther. Like if he'd have done that, then it'd have been like, yep, rated it. No one would have saw that coming. And it's kind of like when Goldberg beat Lesnar the first time. Like that kind of beating, out of nowhere. That's what
I get you.
That's what we needed, man. Even if his brother just came back and just helped out, like did some shenanigans, so it wasn't a clean win. But like, yeah, that's what we needed, man.
I think we needed some Uso penitentiary prison rules just on that final 2/3. Like the way Gunther got a sneaky like belt shot, stuff like that. Just vicious kicks to the face if it's not a no DQ match. Head post shots to the head, like steel chair spots, table spots. Like he should have been going for almost like little just violent spots. And I don't know.
Yeah, we should have got a wild Samoan, man.
I will give mad props to Jay for one thing about that match. I had to take out my second load of fingers to count how many moves he did, and I got to 6. I got to 6. He's expanded his move set. I've gone from 5, and I went, oh shit! The yeet isn't the 6th move anymore.
One move better.
Oh my god!
Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why I'm upset with you for that right now? Yeah, it's because
it wasn't even his move. It was stolen from Gunther.
Because I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I thought the same thing. The same thing. I weren't even going to bring it up today. I was like, oh, you've got some few extra moves today, haven't you? And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. He's got these. I did, and I'm so annoyed you brought that up. Let him have his time.
Let him have his 5 moves.
Let him have his month. Let him have his month.
Listen, I'm still amazed at the cardio, man. Considering how much he walks and yeets all the way to the ring, like he should be like blown up before he even gets through the ropes, man.
Yeah, but then he's out of work when he's yeeting sometimes. But it's got better. It's got better. Jay, if you hear this, I said it's got better.
All right, Jay. You know, and I think he needs to stop drinking on the job, man. Anyone see him in the post match? Oh my!
I love that. That was my favorite. One of my favorite. There was a few favorite things at Mania for me. Was like Stone Cold crashing his ATV, Bret Hart doing an eye roll at Triple H at Hall of Fame, and then Jey Uso's post conference was some of my favorite moments of WrestleMania.
You know the Jey Uso thing. I have actually saved the sound on TikTok because it is brilliant. Like I have to do a video to that sound on TikTok because it's absolutely amazing.
Wow. See, but he can't be getting paralytic on the job, man.
What was match 2? Was it the tag?
It was New Days versus War Raider.
We can skip past that.
We got to skip.
Because even when I did my predictions, I don't remember including them in my predictions because it was really stupid to add. I'm so annoyed with that.
That should be your new name, Nicky Too Harsh.
Honestly, like WWE, when it comes to tag team like stuff, it really irritated me why the Street Profits couldn't be in place of that match because their match was more WrestleMania worthy. Like I was like, don't ask me what happened in the New Day match because I couldn't tell you other than they won, and I was sitting right here.
Same.
My TV is 7 foot away from the sofa. Like I was right here, like, you know, and I couldn't tell you what the excitement was. Even the build up to it was just, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It wasn't.
But the New Day's new theme track was dope though, and their outfit. They were showing homage.
They could keep their theme track. Kofi and his new theme track. Like
I like the New Day.
Yeah, Kofi's beard is so offensive that it's brilliant. That's why I love Kofi's beard. And he's done it by purpose that way. I know he knows. Yes, absolutely. Kofi Kingston is actually one of my favorite characters in wrestling at the moment. If you look at his post interviews or just his little sections, he is fucking hilarious.
He's hilarious.
He's the funniest man in the world when it comes to wrestling right now. I swear to God.
I want to chime in and add on from Nicky. There are actually 2 things I want to mention about that match.
2 things, he says.
One, Nicky's right. It should have been, because when it was mentioned on SmackDown, it announced on SmackDown that they're going to do a TLC match. That screams WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Straight up, that screams WrestleMania. Big WrestleMania. You have to fight your best, and ladders and WrestleMania. I said it last week. There's this magical aura about ladders and WrestleMania, right?
You're too impatient, Grandbody P. You're too impatient. Trust the process. Trust the process.
The second thing I want to mention.
Be a fan.
I watched WrestleMania at my mum's, so we brought back a tradition and watched it with family.
Yeah.
When the New Day won the belts and ran up the ramp, me and my mum was rolling. We were in stitches. Because my mum's clocked onto the commentary that says, "Oh, they're getting beaten up by two fridges here. So my mom was like, come on, guys, why are you getting beat up by a fridge? This isn't fair. Two little guys and getting beat up by a fridge, by an LG fridge. Come on. And then when they won the match and ran up the ramp, me and mom was in hysterics. We couldn't get off it for the rest of the night. That was like our highlight, that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
Let me just say this quick scan. I see the time, yeah. This is the consequence of last minute and poor storytelling with this arrogant idea that just because it's on Mania, we're going to pop for it. I understand that the move by replacing the SmackDown champs just for a Big E return, I'm not saying I agree with it. I think a TLC match was exactly what the second match needed to keep people engaged. But the fact that you didn't even bring back Big E and you put this 2-week build onto Mania for a 10-minute match with the War Raiders dressed of Clash of Clans characters. Shout out the Gonzalez tribute. That was cool.
And this is why fans don't book. This is the reason. This is the reason. You got to trust the process, man. Trust the process.
When you look back at the stats, they kind of needed New Day, and War Raiders had never had a Mania match, so like proper one. So you know, just for that, for the year they probably put in, that's probably why they got that nod. You know, Street Profits tore it up last year, man. So that's the only thing. Jade Cargill, Magic J's wifey, against Naomi. Nicky, I'm going to let you kick this one off because I know you're passionate and I know you want to rant about it. And you followed the drama, this telenovela from the beginning to where we're at. Did it live up to the hype?
Honestly, no. I was a little bit disappointed. I thought I was going to really enjoy that match. It was mid for me. And I hate the fact that I'm saying that. I don't really know what I expected. But maybe I don't know what more of it that I needed. First of all, Jade looked fantastic. Like she was ready for WrestleMania. Naomi's character was very ready, but then Naomi has this hint of overacting that she does. And I saw it a bit and I was just like, oh God, chill out. But then even with like the finisher, Jade's finisher, I was just like, oh God, yeah, she's gonna get pinned 1, 2, 3, you know, and that was it. Like it was okay. Yeah, it was all right, but that's just about it. That I thought Jade looked great.
I'm not gonna lie. You know, when Jade and Naomi, even when Naomi came down, I was in a couple of the groups here, right? And I was like, Rascal, Naomi looks all right today. She had a good outfit. I don't understand the entrance though, because you had two guys at the end holding the thing, and then she was trying to break out. It looked like she couldn't even break out the conscience.
The entrance made me laugh so much.
Yeah. I was like,
it was so bad.
Like she was trying to walk out, and the guys are just looking at each other from end to end, like, oh, this has pulled the thing. But her costume was okay. But only thing I could say about Naomi's costume is that she should have got the conscience thing like embroidered or even, you know, DTF printed or something. You get what I'm saying? Like the strips, and make it look more, you know, but it just looks dry. But the outfit alone was banging. And Jade is Jade. You know, she got busting outfits. But as what Nicky said, the match could have been more exciting. You know what I mean? I just think from the matches what we spoke about, it could have been more exciting. You get what I'm saying? Even going back to Jay and whatnot, could have been more exciting, more blood, more gore, more rough play. You get what I'm saying? Even this one, I thought that Naomi's teeth would have got smashed out. You get what I'm saying? And then get sent back to the Uso.
I mean, that's very true. We got like a Jade Cargill weather report entrance, and this girl smashed your.
What was that?
Naomi smashed your head in a windscreen. She pushed you into a windscreen, and you're coming out with a weather report parody sketch. Like, where's this elimination chamber energy? But I sound better negative. Jade Cargill wrestled fantastically compared to what we've seen. It shows that she can hang in a singles match. It's not going to be the most innovative, like top caliber, but she is progressing to get better. Naomi was cool. That last move, the move that she did before Jay did, where she had her in the electric chair and then twisted her around and did the power bomb. First of all, fucking cool move. But I do agree with Luke Owen on Wrestle Talk. Don't ever do that move again. That looks like the most unsafe, scary shit. You can't see the person behind you. I'm not a wrestler, but that shit scared me when I saw that. Like, don't do that shit again. Yeah, it was an okay match. Jade Cargill looked strong, and she wrestled better than John Cena, to be honest.
Oh, no.
Shots. Man,
Okay.
Mr. NXT.
Well, I think Cena knows he wrestled pretty badly,
Oh my God.
and I think he did it by purpose.
So someone mute him. This is nonsense.
You thought Cena wrestled great on night 2. That was fantastic wrestling.
And this is why fans don't book matches, right? But on
I'm not asking to book
back to
matches. I'm
Jade.
observing a match. Is it good wrestling?
It was once you understand the
psychology,
the storytelling of it, it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
But we're doing a side note with John Cena, yeah.
Jade,
the theatrics are good.
All I'm going to say for Jade, highlighted the fact that she's getting better, but I just want WWE to book her like Goldberg a little bit and just do a couple of minute matches, squash matches. Like she can't go 5-10 minutes. She can't.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm gonna sound like a bit like Jey Uso again, but like 4 or 5 times on my fingers, I was like, oh, we got a new move. Okay, we got one more. Like she's getting there, but just do what you're good at, which is throwing people around.
Yeah.
Kicking people in the face and throwing them around.
Yes.
Why try to wrestle when you don't need to?
That AEW run wasn't that great though. Like that dominant streak.
It wasn't, but there wasn't women to match her. There wasn't anyone like her in AEW. Whereas you've got loads of talent now, especially if you look towards like the NXT guys that are coming up, the likes of Julia, the likes of Stephanie Vacchi. You've got people that can go toe to toe with her in that hard style, right? But Naomi did her part really well. So like mad props to Naomi. Definitely the right call. But yeah, just let Jade squash. Let her just squash. Like it's what she's good at. And I think we'd all be happy with that. Like I don't know.
I feel like if your wrestling's not progressing, then I'm not looking for a Jade squash like monster. If you're not going to progress as a wrestler, then like maybe get off of the bandwagon. But she is progressing. Like she is getting.
No,
good.
she is. That's what I'm saying. So like props to her. Like I think she needs to come away from being the face. The face though, heel Jade is where it needs to be.
Absolutely agreed.
The thing about Naomi is, I think she's going to have a case of Becky Lynch. By that, I mean, I don't think she's going to be a heel for long. And I'm seeing little girls at press conferences, well, not press conferences, but, you know, like, you know, like meet and greets and all of that. I'm seeing little girls, 5, 6 years old, 8 years old, dressed up in black with caution, all out caution, proceed with caution, yellow stuff all over their body. I'm thinking, hang on. But Naomi's a heel, though. Yeah. This ain't gonna last long. It's like Becky Lynch when she turned heel against Charlotte Flair. She got cheered all the way through, and then Becky Lynch was like, "Oh, forget it. I'm a good guy now. Call me the man, and that's it." You know what I mean? And I think that's the same way. Pretty much going with Naomi right now. Props to Jade. She's doing her thing as well, man. Wardrobe malfunction, but yeah, 10 out of 10.
It would be him to know that.
I did say that about Naomi the last time you guys had me on from the Elimination Chamber. I said Naomi needs to have her own thing because I remember making the comparison between her and Bianca Belair. Like when you go out, you see the little girls with their ponytails. Like, and for how many years, Naomi hasn't really had that. Like the glow thing, okay, was a thing, but wasn't really a thing. But then if this is what she is as a heel, let it run because she needs that. She's been in the business for so long and it's not like she's bad. She's actually really good.
Yeah. I think Grant, I think if I think there is a chance that people will start cheering Naomi. Like if I was in the crowd, I would because I'm invested in her character way more. I think she just needs the right babyface target because if she goes against Bianca, she will get cheered. If she goes against Jade again, she will get cheered. So she just needs the right babyface target. It might make sense to
cheer Naomi by default. And Jade and Bianca. There's no booing from me whatsoever.
Okay.
Well, that's why we're getting.
that's what she's exploring now. It's
Yeah.
like John Cena. It's a new character for her, and I think we haven't seen the best of it yet. Hopefully WWE will get behind it. She'll get a push, and hopefully she'll get another championship run before the end of the year, man. But I mean, for what it was, I think what I noticed on night one is that I think WWE used to just have better producers that help these wrestlers put matches together, and you put a match together slightly different for Mania. There's just a Mania style, and I didn't see a lot of that on night one, but again, that's a nitpick really. I guess, it was the result that would make the fans happy, really. And I noticed there's a bit more pandering in the Triple H era when it comes to Mania. There was no real like, oh, I'm just gonna ruin the match for you guys kind of vibe.
The next match was Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. My guy, come on. The way that Jacob Fatu, just his entrance, just the entirety that he's actually there and involved and winning. I'm not talking about the wrestling just yet. Just those three factors brought Mania to level 6, if level 10 is the highest. You know what I mean? But yeah, the wrestling was good enough for a WrestleMania match. It was no different to LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Like the moonsault was probably one of the best finishes that exists today, I think. And LA Knight's over anyway. He's going to be fine. And I think both had a cool entrance. LA Knight's was very simple. Pulled up in the right car. Window came down. When Charlotte did it, it wasn't the same. Charlotte copied everyone. The entrance, the outfit, bloody hell. But yeah, Fatu was the right winner. This was the one that I chose wrong. I chose Knight. I thought Solo would interrupt, but I'm happy for that story to be prolonged and play out a bit further. But yeah, excellent. What did you guys think?
Oh, don't know it's because I just have a crush on Jacob Fatu, but I predicted him to win anyway, and I have nothing to say about the wrestling because I was completely biased. And that's all I say on this match. Hi, Jacob. Hi, Jacob, if you're listening.
She was just looking at Jacob saying, "Oh, Jacob. Oh, Jacob."
I don't think I said that per se.
10 out of 10.
What?
So what was the match for you that Jacob won? Was it 10 out of 10? Because he's your guy?
There was no scale. He just won.
He's off the scale with it.
There was no scale. He just won. I was like, come on. Let's win this. Wrap it up quickly. Let's be done. No, I'm joking.
But one thing though, let's give it up to the Tonga kid, Mr. Sam Fatu, who came down at the end. I was looking
that was cool.
I was like, wait a minute, is that the kid? So big up to him, as well. So, but to me, the match was good. You get me? LA Knight done his thing. We all enjoyed the. You get what I'm saying? We all enjoyed that, but at the same time, come on, man, it's a bloodline thing, man. Come on, man.
Forget the bloodline. Anyway, LA Knight is another one who might be stepped down from WWE soon. I see that happening. I feel like he will get tired of where his direction is going because I don't think I've taken much to LA Knight before, but then him being involved in that match, like great performance from them both. To be very fair, great performance to them both. But then LA Knight, I don't know where post WrestleMania. I don't know where it's going.
A lot of people. I'm not an LA Knight guy either. Like just his wrestling's fine. It's just I'm not invested in the character, so it doesn't mean as much when he's in the ring. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's the ceiling. I don't really. They'll have to do something quite intriguing for him to go for the World Heavyweight Championship for me to be interested. But and it sounds harsh, yeah, but for me, an LA Knight, this is as high as it gets. Mm-hmm. They need to invest in storytelling, blood feuds, and those sort of things might keep me interested for the next couple of years. But I personally don't want to see him with the World Heavyweight title.
LA Knight, they goofed massively when they put him against Roman, and that's what's killed him. And that's why he's not really recovered. If the World Heavyweight title was a thing then, and it was the other way around, and maybe he was going after Seth, maybe somewhat different, but you can't put him against a tribal chief and get shown up. It's as simple as that. And he's not really recovered since then. I agree with Nicky. I don't think he's long for this world because you can tell that he's somebody that thinks he's up here, but he's kind of down here. and he need and I get the vibe that he's not going to get in line, to be honest. So I could see him quite easily shifting back around to TNA where he was treated like the top guy, and I could see that coming very soon.
And that's a good call. I think you're right. I think LA Knight is in a strange place, man. When he's not got the belt, who is he? It's like,
Yeah.
are they going to take him as seriously? Because I still don't think he's of the level to be in the world title picture right now. So is he just going to be a forever mid card? And maybe he might need to go to a smaller, like you said, a TNA to really get that world title treatment like Dolph Ziggler, I guess,
In the case of Jacob Fatu, him, we know that him and Solo are going to catch up. We know this. It's coming. It's built. It's a slow build. It's a slow cook. And I said, with or without the title, it's going to bang regardless. Jacob and LA Knight, yeah, I feel the same. I kind of feel the same way as you guys. He gets extra points from me because there was the one promo he did last year and he put up the Wu-Tang sign and I thought, all right, yeah, LA Knight, that's good. But other than that, it's like, all right, cool. Not much to say about it, really. Big up to Jacob Fatu. I'm just waiting to see what him and Solo do now. And what my yeah. What are you gonna do?
Fair enough.
Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair.
This was agonizing.
This had car crash written all over it, man. But it was the one. Was it the good car crash or a bad car crash?
I thought it'd be a better match. I thought it'd be a better match than what we got. Like Charlotte has delivered at WrestleMania. Charlotte delivers in big matches, but no, this was clunky. This was no synergy, no rhythm, no. God, this was bad.
The best thing about the match here was Tiffany's entrance.
Yeah. Probably in the top 3 entrances of Mania, and I don't think the entrances were that great this year. I think Punk was number 1 by far. Sorry, Nikki?
Behind Seth, she's got the second entrance.
Oh, you don't put Punk at the top?
An entrance he's done before. He's had Living Colour there before.
He
had the band sing him out. They've all had something like that.
He had a fantastic voice.
I think the match itself, like it wasn't dreadful, but I was honestly expecting Charlotte to leave her boots in the ring at the end of it. I thought this was her like send off match or something because Charlotte was rusty as hell. Clearly, they hadn't really done much prep. I'll be honest. If you're telling me that she prepped, I'm calling you a liar. She didn't, right? If you rewatch the match, she was sandbagging like hell. Like she was missing her timings. It wasn't Tiffany. Tiffany was there ready. Charlotte's nowhere to be seen. Like I don't know if there's any actual beef or what. I don't know, but like Charlotte gave me the vibe that she just did not like Tiffany in the slightest. Not character-wise, but personally. Yeah. The fact that Tiffany ended up with 4 or 5 busted teeth tells me that there was a bit more oomph behind the rivalry as well.
Yeah.
I think Tiffany did the best she could. She's not a fantastic talent by any means, but she's getting there. But yeah, Charlotte, man, she cannot be proud of that, and she knows she fucked up. I'll be real, she knows she fucked up because she came away from that match looking like shit. And I've not seen anybody praise her. I've seen everyone go, yeah, Tiffany did like,
and it's not her fault, like you said. Yeah, it's not her fault.
Yeah,
but
she needs some, like WWE needs to be hella quick on how they get Tiffany back over again, because I don't think anyone was happy with the match. But fair play to Tiffany for actually trying her best still, because Charlotte, to be honest, she didn't look like she wanted to be anywhere but there. Like that was the vibe I was getting from the match. What Tiffany and Charlotte gave us is what Gunther and Jay should have been, which was more heavy hitting, like real sort of strong style sort of moves, I think me personally, I was just annoyed because I thought that was going to be Tiffany's breakout moment where everyone goes, she's legit, fair, she's legit, but it just unfortunately just didn't come.
Charlotte she just didn't want to do it for her because we've seen her do it. We've seen the Rhea Ripley match. We've seen other matches in the past. And I think that's a huge shame. Like Tiffany's first ever WrestleMania, so young coming in, for the whole world, even casuals who haven't followed the storyline, just to gain some sort of recognition. And for Charlotte to sort of, and I don't know, I can't say I know for certain, but I agree with Mr. NXT. It looked like sandbagging and it looked like a sabotage mission because she didn't like the responses she was getting over the last 3 weeks and didn't keep it professional. I don't know if she didn't prep. I think she has done a lot of work in rehab to recover. And like, I think all wrestlers take it quite seriously to like get back in the ring. But I just think it's the attitude, because I can't put it down to his two different styles, because that's not true.
No. I think the four horsewomen, like if they want to take a step back now, like I think it's kind of the right move, because, and we'll get to Becky obviously, but like, yeah, I was kind of disappointed with what I was seeing from both of them, to be fair. Yeah. So I think it's about time that we kind of, got a nice producer role for you. Come and coach in NXT for a little bit. I think it's about time. Like,
not to further this along, but I think actually, what's a really good time, like today in the women's division at the moment, is that before, for the last 6-7 years, everyone was trying to be the first king of the ring, queen of the ring, first Royal Rumble winner, first US title winner, whatever. All the firsts were trying to get accomplished. Now that that's all washed out and it's run its course, they have to resort to storytelling. So I'm okay to see Becky if it's a good story. I'm okay to see Charlotte even if it's a good story. Bailey, not Sasha because she's not coming back, but anyone involved in the women's division, it needs to be focused on storytelling now, because no one cares about you winning the title anymore. Not as much.
Yeah. Like that match reminded me of two kids at school that don't get along, that are forced to do group work. That's what reminded me of. I didn't really notice the severity of it with all those bumps and bruises and the teeth and everything afterwards. I was like, was I watching this match or was I in a daze? Like, what happened in that match for all of that to happen? That's what I was thinking. But at the same time, they could have brought it. I feel like a lot of personal stuff really does overtake in the ring. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss. And I really think that they're doing the whole Ric Flair thing with Charlotte, which they really do need to let go, because they used a lot of his personal life in his in-ring stuff, even when he's doing like his mic stuff. Like, we all know his famous monologue. He was like, I'm having a hard time wearing these alligator, you know the speech, but like, I feel like that's kind of what they've got Charlotte Flair doing. I mean, she shows up every week with a new Louis Vuitton two-piece. Like, they're really making this about lifestyle, and it's really imitating this thing of her father. But then she talks about this legacy thing so much, and I'm like, I don't know if I like it. I don't want to see a repeat of something that was ended. How long has Ric Flair been retired? Like, what, 15 years or something? Like, I don't want to see a repeat. Just because, like, she's a woman, like, she's his daughter, doesn't mean that we can't see it. For me, we can see it. But again, shout out to Tiffany for winning. When I did my predictions, I did say that she should win. Like, and we also need to remember, she's very young. She's coming WWE, where everything fits to she's not millennial, what's it, a Gen Z. Like, she's very much a Gen Z. So you see all these storylines and everything, it fits to her and who she is. And we also need to remember, she's not a wrestler. She's a gymnast. She is a gymnast. So you see all those flips in the ring is because that's what she's comfortable doing. She hasn't really stepped out of her comfort zone yet. So I think that's what's going to take Tiff to the next level, and she has the room and the time to do it.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to start lining her up with some luchadors from AAA. I can't wait, because they're going to be some next level matches.
Sure. World Collide, innit? World Collide soon.
Grand Americano versus.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I haven't said that one yet. Yeah, fuck.
That was a stupid ass match.
I think. Look, I picked out Grande, but when they picked Ray Phoenix for a replacement for Ray, I was like, well, Ray Phoenix is winning. They're not gonna let Ray Phoenix lose on the day they've collaborated with AAA and they've got all these luchadors here and they're hugging and kissing everybody. Like, Pente's losing, or this one, they've told the story that this guy's exploiting a culture, and they're gonna do the right thing with Ray, or the best luchador. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. That Ray Phoenix is gonna win this, but it looks like they're gonna keep the storyline going with Gable, Grande, whatever he wants to call himself. You know what I mean? Taking the PI double out of the luchador thing.
You know what's coming though, right? You know what's coming. He's going to go against Vikingo, right? At some point.
Oh yeah.
Probably at Worlds Collide. It will
that.
probably be Grande versus Vikingo, and I reckon they'll let him win, and I reckon he'll go for the AAA Mega Championship. I can see it happening.
That's very far.
I can see them doing it though. I absolutely can.
I'd say yeah. If it was Vincent Kennedy at the helm,
they purchased AAA just for Vikingo and the library. That's all they purchased it for.
I think Triple H is just as ruthless as Vince when it comes to takeover. Like he is taking over. He's there
for somebody that's not bothered about the tiny portion, as he calls it, of the internet. The whole pre-show for night one was talking about internet comments, what people are talking about. Someone that's not bothered, all Big E spoke about was internet comments and internet fans.
Honestly, he should have brought back Lucha Underground because I really enjoyed that show back in it when it was on TV.
Oh yeah,
he brought Lucha Underground back this year. Went to the guys and said, "Look, we're revitalizing Lucha Underground, and the same type of storylines but better."
Yeah. No, they tried it with Raw Underground, where they had the pole dancers and almost as a
Lucha Underground, man, But one thing though, Grande has got a Twitter page and social media page, so people are following that now.
Can I be honest? WWE need to tread very carefully. And I see what they're trying to do. They think it's something funny. I don't need to be a Mexican person to say this, but they could really pretty much borderline racism here and a lot of prejudice as well, because I'm not too... Okay, let me just be completely honest. I'm not a fan of that storyline at all. And especially them announcing that acquisition as well. I was just like, to me, it doesn't make any sense with like some of the remarks that are being made, and it almost borderlines the fact that we are in the PG era now. Like, it's a very thin line that they're treading on. So I think they really need to be careful with that storyline, because I really do think it borderlines racism a little bit and a lot of prejudice.
Especially what we've seen, what the American government, what Trump is doing right now with the Mexicans and all that stuff. So
yeah, and Linda McMahon is head of the education secretary for the Republican Party, and look, that does stick. But one of my favorite movies of all time is Nacho Libre, and if they keep it within the confines of Nacho Libre, right, which I think they have to a certain degree.
Is that the Jack Black film?
Yeah. Oh, but that's what I'm saying. He's going to go against Vikingo, right? And he's either going to get his ass kicked or he'll go over Vikingo, and it'll be like a big funny moment where he comes out and it turns out it's actually not Gable, it's somebody else. Like, and they'll do like a bit of a thing on it. But just for a quick one for you, Magic J, WWE, TKO, purchased Lucha Underground's library back in Feb. So it should be coming back in terms of the library at least.
Also, what they've done with WCW and...
they very sneakily purchased it just before they announced the deal with AAA. So
I've not heard that anywhere. That's quite massive. That is, man.
Yeah, they slipped it under the radar.
my only concern, just to say a quick thing about it, is I hope they don't do AAA how they did WWE ECW and just put out some watered down version with like zombie luchadors or something crazy like that.
I think that's what we're getting. I think that's what we're getting. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I think they purchased it for Vikingo. They purchased it for the library, but then now also you stopped Tony Khan from doing anything in the Arena de Mexico because now they've got the exclusivity there.
I don't know, man. Tony Khan has beef AAA. I think they did him dirty like a year ago when it came to a deal, so he's not that concerned. But I think like it's just a farming ground for NXT talent. They don't need to go to independence. They don't need to set up their own independence in different territories anymore. They've got these things set up like AAA.
Well, that's.
What did anyone think of the match? Sorry.
I thought the match was really good, to be fair. Like, I thought it was a decent match. they obviously with Ray being injured, they kind of buggered themselves, didn't they? Because like whoever they put in, they need that storyline of Ray versus El Grande at some point, right? So they kind of just fed Ray Phoenix for whatever reason.
Yeah. Ironically, it was actually a WrestleMania type match. That's the impression I got, the vibe I got from it. You know, it's like it wasn't supposed to be that serious. Like, obviously, we get people on the internet like crying their eyes out because Ray Phoenix lost, but not seeing the bigger picture. That he looked good in that match.
Yeah,
he didn't lose. You know,
I strongly disagree. Sorry, I didn't think like Ray looked weak. I don't think that's what happened. I think they kept him strong, but well, I don't know about that. I thought a 10-minute match for Ray Phoenix at WrestleMania. I think that just felt like a Raw match, and Raw matches are actually longer, which also begs the question: WrestleMania isn't for wrestling fans; it's for the casuals, and that's why these matches were so short.
Yeah.
And then Raw after Mania, we got like wrestling. Well, we didn't get a lot of wrestling, but when we did, we got wrestling for the sickos, as we're called.
Yeah.
So maybe, but I thought if I'm looking at El Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix at WrestleMania, I'm thinking of a 15 minute, 14, 15 minute banger with loads of theatrics, and not just the same like spot where he puts the thing in the helmet that we've seen on Raw.
But he's got to get that spot over, man. That's the thing. And in the press conference, Triple H liked to go on about how he's booked WrestleMania like it's an album. Like he can't give you too many bangers. You got to get some album cuts, you know. And obviously he's thinking like, you know what? And I understand how night one was designed. So it was like it just felt like the undercard to a headline boxing match. That's what it felt like. It was just everything was just like it ticked along, you know. And when we look at WrestleManias in the past, it's very rare that you literally get banger after banger, even though they could actually do that, but they're not going to give it to you.
Why is that?
Because they don't have to.
Yeah, but why is that?
Why? Because he's trying to make an album.
The storylines weren't there this year. Ultimately,
that's all it boils down to. Triple H's fault. That is his fault.
Yeah,
the road to WrestleMania wasn't that good. Sorry,
no,
man, go ahead.
No, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Like I think the Triple H, like people need to get off the Triple H horse a little bit because like he's good when it comes to the boys. Like he's very good at booking those, but as soon as you drop out that main event picture, he's kind of lost. He doesn't know what to do. But WWE is going down the route of AEW where they've overstacked themselves, and now they're in a problem because you've got all these shows like we said, Evolve, etc., etc. But now you've got literally 100+ talent. Easy. What do you do with them? What do you do with them? Yeah. And that's why the likes of LA Knight's going to disappear to TNA. You won't see Randy Orton all that often. Like he'll do his main event match and then he'll disappear again for a bit.
I'm going to say that NXT, they got all these companies now. They can shift them over there, innit? Because remember, they still got people, like Booker T with his company and so forth. So and then obviously you got Jimmy and Jay's dad with his companies at Knox, whatever it's called, so, and they change it wrestling. So think about it this way: they got all these wrestlers. They could go, okay, NXT or TNA or what's it called, Rikishi's thing or Booker T's.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So they got, and then obviously now they got AAA. Okay, go to Mexico, man. You know what I mean? And do your thing. It's just like what's his name? Is it Omos?
Yeah,
Noah.
There you go. So they've got those type of connections where they can ship off. But only thing is, don't just bring in or have wrestlers there for a moment and then fuck them off after a while, like Indy Hartwell. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a tough job, man, to book that many. That's 100 wrestlers. How are you going to book all of them?
Yeah,
that's why if you notice, Rusev's only around for 2 years because if it don't work, it don't work.
CM Punk, walking down with his new supposed to be wise man, Steph freaking Rollins, and the original tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns.
All right, so this one, me like this match, but I'm putting it in the same category as Jay and Gunter. the same category as Naomi and Jade. The same.
Oh,
No. Hear
Let
me
him
out.
land, man. Let him land.
okay.
Hear me out. The same category as Charlotte and Tiffany, in a sense where these feuds were based on hatred, and I wanted violence. And I felt like, personally, I didn't get that, or I didn't get enough of that. That's all, man. I felt like, okay, so no one's gonna get their head busted open in this one, since they since they hate each other. Okay, no problem. I'm sure we're gonna get it in Cena and Cody. But anyway, the match the match was all good though. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
It delivered what we needed it to, right? Let's be real. It did what we needed it to do. We got the ending that I don't feel like many people were shocked. Like, I don't think many people were shocked, but it did what it needed to do. Roman still looks like $1 million, which is the main thing. It was a great match. It saved night one for sure. Yeah, I agree with Grant Body P though. Just a little. I'm not about all the blood all the time or anything like that, but if ever there was a match that called for a little bit, it felt like that was the one that needed it the most. In my opinion. Would have liked Paul Heyman to be involved a bit more as well.
At the end.
No, you know what I mean though, because like they made a big thing out of it, and then it was only that little end bit.
But you gotta watch Heyman though. You gotta watch Heyman during that match. Heyman looked torn. There was one moment where I saw Heyman like in the corner of the ring, at the ring post, and he looked like he couldn't watch, and he looked like he was gonna bawl. You know what I mean? Heyman, he's acting.
Yeah,
top class.
Like I said, it was a great match, and they put Seth where they needed to put him, not just for the storyline, obviously, but like for me, this is the first time in a long time where I'm looking at Seth going, "You're legit. You're legit."
Yeah, they made Seth.
And I'm fed up with the outfits, though. Fed up with the outfits, man. Just come out with normal gear, man.
Oh, Nicky, what's your thoughts, Nicky?
Unmute.
Well, Seth has his outfit game. 10. 10. You can't make me hate what he comes out in. Even when CM Punk said that he reminded him of an oven mitt in his red coat. Like, you can't make me hate his gear. Like, he's been doing it for a minute now, and I appreciate it. In terms of the match, in my predictions, this was the only one, that and the main event of night 2, they were the only ones that I couldn't call. Actually, I'm lying. All kind of called night 2, but I was just in denial about it. But then with this one, this was the only match I don't think I could have called. I couldn't. I didn't know where it was going. I still don't know where the storyline is going. But did I think it was a good match? Yes. Paul Heyman does some stuff where he he does some stuff that kind of makes me feel a little uncomfortable sometimes, and I think he's a little bit too into his role.
But and kissing wrestlers on the head and that.
Not that's even the lighter part of it, but I think Pat McAfee gave us a good quick reenactment of what I'm talking about, and I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to say wrong to potentially get cancelled, and I would like to work with the WWE in the near future.
Wait, no. This is the mega powers. Hold on. What do you? Come on, like Wagwan, say it, bro. You can't be subservient to WWE contracts and impressions. We're still professionals. We cannot have our speech silenced out here. Whatever Triple H said, he can do one. All right.
Listen, I just think Paul Heyman takes his roles a little too seriously. So when he's involved in the match, bro, relax. Like, you see the low blows.
That was Dragon Ball Z style. That was
trying to find the keys.
Street Fighter, Shoryukens. That's what we're looking at there.
Whatever you call it, I don't know how to name it. But I was just like,
10 out of 10.
that was a bit too much. And I was just like, oh, you've got one low blow. Why are you digging it? Okay, this is what
I
I'm just.
I don't know if that was his fault. Maybe Roman like just literally suffocated him with his legs and he couldn't get out, brother. He had to like do this shit. Man's got strong ties. You saw them training videos that he was telling us about and all of that.
I mean, I don't know. But then for me, one thing that I did leave that match with was like with CM Punk. I don't know who just said that he's 40 something, like he is getting older and his return means something. And because it means something, I'm still not sure where it's going, because this is somebody, he fell out heavily with WWE. It took something for him to come back. So he needs a lot out of this and he wants a lot out of this. So whereas where it goes after this WrestleMania result, it will be interesting to see. I don't want to be like, oh, well, we'll just see. I don't think it's one of those situations, but I just think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because I don't know where this is going.
Cool. Sire.
Cool. I
What
think
happened
this
to
match
Sire?
was I think this match was incredible. I don't think it was like the top 5 WrestleMania matches of all time that main evented, but everything it needed to be, it was. I think it delivered. I think it did so well that even before Paul Heyman's involvement, that the false finishes were believable. That's how good these guys were.
Mm,
And I think you know, that sequence spot with the 3 finishers when Punk hit
crazy.
Rollins with the GTS, and then Roman speared Punk, and then Seth curb stomp fucking Roman. Is brilliant. I thought it was a great match. Punk's finish entrance was probably my favorite, because I left wrestling. Oh no, I came back to wrestling when Punk left. So for me to live see that WrestleMania entrance for Punk was like probably my moment of the feels this weekend. So was EO's promo on Raw. I called Seth. Scan knows it. Magic knows it. I've been annoying them for months saying it's going to be Seth. I did not anticipate he deserved it. He needed it. The story needed it. Punk got what he wanted. Roman doesn't need to lose, all of that stuff. But he doesn't need to win. Sorry, Roman doesn't need to win ever again. But Paul Heyman aligning with Seth wasn't what I wanted. I was more looking forward to Paul still walking away with Punk, and that carrying out the year. But the way that Raw played out, I wanted to see a faction of Seth, The Rock, and Cena. I thought those were the 3 men. I thought Paul Heyman was working in the background as well. After the finish, I was like, maybe they don't have to. There's no relationship between the two, but they work for the same guy. And I thought that would play out night 2. Yeah, I thought it was a great match. I think it was the best match of the whole weekend.
And I think
apart from maybe the triple threat. Sorry, go on.
no, I was gonna say, and I think out of all the promos for all of the matches, this was the one that sold well on both nights. I think this was the match that sold well. The build up from like the 3 or 4 Raw episodes leading up to it, it was sold on point.
I will concur, man. The entrance was amazing. Like Living Color, considering how old them men are, can still like kill it live, and it gives a different energy, man. A lot of people criticize that whole the Travis Scott and the Weekend themes. It doesn't really go with what you want from pro wrestling. You kind of want that kind of rock feel that charges you up, and you got that with that theme song, man. Maybe they'll rethink it next year, but like I'm kind of done with the Weekend and Travis Scott, man. That song's so played out. If I never hear that song again, I'll be a very happy man.
I'm canceling Travis Scott, man. He's like R. Kelly to me now after
but it just didn't work.
Never...
WrestleMania, that song didn't work.
I think it worked for the whole gear up to WrestleMania. I think it definitely worked.
Nah,
I don't think it was that bad. I think a little bit of hip hop is not too bad. I know traditionally
I am a hip hop head, a diehard hip hop head, but I think it's about time we got some rock music, bro. My only issue with this match, as obviously is the overall issue, is that the build up for Mania was too long. And they showed you too much prior to this match. Like, if anybody watched SmackDown, you'd hear Seth blatantly say, this is a spoiler. He literally uses
yeah.
And the thing is, they've got to protect that saying, because every time Paul Heyman says that, the result goes in his favor. So you knew from when he said that he was going to win. and that he was
Really though?
aligned with Paul Heyman. You know, so they more or less gave away the result of the match, man. Which I think what we got at the beginning of the Triple H era, he was very more subtle with these things. And for me, that was just too blatantly obvious what was going to happen there. You know, so that kind of took the wind out of its sails a little bit for me. But overall, it was main event worthy. They gave you all the whistles and bells. It kind of like shat all over night two's main event, to be honest. You know, it did, man. It really did, you know.
Mr. NXT's nodding, I see it. 'Cause he thought that was great wrestling. But
because he saw the main event to stand and deliver. And he said that's a triple threat match.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Get over Femi on the main roster. Get him on the main roster now.
Yes.
We need him.
Night two kicking off WrestleMania is a triple threat match. The Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair. Who wants to kick it off?
In my predictions, I said, of course, everyone knows I'm biased with Bianca. I want Bianca to win everything. Like, I want her to win everything. But then looking at even with the promo, I couldn't call it. However, I was happy to see Io retain it because they all literally gave 10 performances. Like, they were fighting as if like this was the last time the Women's Championship was up for grabs. It was an amazing match. And they all looked absolutely amazing. They looked like they put in work for this. So even seeing some of the clips on Instagram of like Rhea going to hug Bianca afterwards, like just everything, you can just tell that these ladies, you know, some people, especially with the women, and well, not even with the women, men and women, I think there's a lot of people who are very conscious about, oh, I needed to look a certain way. But then they didn't actually care. They came out and they wrestled. Yes, there was the WrestleMania part with like parts of like their entrances and stuff, but they came and wrestled. And that's what we need to see from all the women that are coming up now from NXT, because there was a lot of NXT girls on Monday Night Raw. Come and wrestle. Forget your parts of your persona. Forget about how you're presenting. You're always going to be that. But then what you do in the ring is what lasts. And this is what I think Stephanie McMahon has been pushing for so long. And there's been a bit of a break in that from when the Sashas have gone and Charlotte's taken some time off and things like that. They have really continued it. And I'm actually quite proud of them.
Absolutely spot on, Nicky. Absolutely spot on. Fantastic, really, truly fantastic match. I think that the three ladies there, and this is why I said about my early comment about the four horsewomen, as they like to call themselves, need to step back a little bit, because like these ladies showed them that this is the standard now. And you know, and the thing is, it's not just for Mania, because that's the standard that Io puts out on a regular. That's the standard that Bianca puts out on a regular. So, you know, to me, I didn't like. Don't get me wrong; it was a Mania match, but we see this week in, week out. So there's like no excuses anymore. If they're doing this week in, week out, come on, ladies. Like, you know, absolutely time to step up your game a little bit. If you want to be in this division, you need to show it, right? People are bored of Super Bianca. They're bored of it. Like, they'll never turn a heel. She sells too much merch. They'll never turn a heel. They won't. But she put on a really good show. The right call was made, and Io and Julia, hopefully, would be a really nice match soon. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Are you?
Go on, Grant.
Oh, Grant.
Yeah. At the beginning, I said 10 out of 10. But then I remembered how the crowds are doing Bianca recently. And I wasn't getting it. I'm like, yo, why are you booing Bianca, man? I don't get it. Why? But I think Mr. NXT just answered my question. This whole idea that she wins, that she's always winning, and there was this whole thing that she might have a WrestleMania streak going. That got popped. But outside of that, the match was fantastic, man. And I think the females, I think all three of them knew it. I think they had backstage. I think all three were backstage and said, I think they had a Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25 moment. They realized where they were on the card, and they said to themselves, you know what? Let's kill it tonight. Let's smash it. And I think I'm going there, man. I think that was the best match of night two.
Yeah.
They showed out. for sure.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. I think at Mania you do get a lot of visitors, a lot of it's a very international crowd, so you're gonna get a mix of everything, man. But I will piggyback on what Mr. NXT said. It to me it felt like remember we had the triple threat match with Becky, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks, and how that felt like an evolution from the Divas era. This
Yeah.
felt like an evolution from that era, the woman era.
Mm.
And I think we're starting to see where the next level of women's wrestling is going. And that's why it's perfect timing to have another Evolution pay-per-view because you're going to get some of the old heads like the Bellas and that are going to come out, whatever. But you're going to see how charged up and superior the next level of women's wrestling is. And NXT is leading the way. So it's going to be interesting. Even with AAA now, we got the Luchadoras going to come in, so we're going to see where that goes. And obviously the match with Stephanie and Io on Raw as well. Like it's going to be a point where you're not even going to call them women's matches anymore. It's going to be like who's got the best match, and
Yeah.
literally it could be either. And the way Triple H likes to say it, it's like whoever's got the best match headlines,
Yeah.
and just leave
Best
it like
storyline. Yeah.
yeah.
Karrion Cross would
I'm
not
gonna
agree with
say
that.
this. I do want to point out that what I mean, just adding on from what you were saying, that Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky match, that was WrestleMania 32. And the match we just had, that's 41. So yeah, that we are due a new era, a new batch of women's talent, and we're getting that. I mean, even NXT, you know what I mean? When you watch NXT, it's like they're more driven towards the female division in there. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's great. Y'all can add on now.
I think I agree with Scan. Yeah, I think I think that is, even though we've been on that bandwagon for a while and we witnessed some fantastic women's wrestling at that caliber, at that ability, I think this, for the optics and the way the wrestling timeline is dressed, I think this will be one of the most, like, a very important match that solidifies that next era. I think WrestleMania, you're right, 32 did that for Sasha, Charlotte, and
Yeah.
I was live for Bayley versus Sasha Banks in NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and there hasn't been a lot of matches. There's been a few matches. I think Toni Storm versus Mariah May. I think
10 out of 10.
Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale. Maybe Charlotte versus Rhea at WrestleMania 39. But those are like the three matches I can think that were close. But this match, I think, was the closest I've ever felt to, like, every move meaning something. Everything. It didn't even feel choreographed. Even though it was smooth as butter, it didn't feel choreographed because they bumped like fucking soldiers out there. Bloody Io's neck kept flipping back every time she hit something, or they would hit the ground without breakfording too much. Like these women gave everything, and I think it might have been to do with the criticism for night one. I think even some wrestlers would have maybe agreed that they didn't find it as entertaining as it could have been, and they just said, "Look, we got to go out there and fucking steal the show." So I think that's what they said.
That's the vibe I got.
Yeah.
I think it's in my recent memory, I know it's biased, it's the best opener to WrestleMania. I can't think of anything else that's open WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Sin City Street Fight wasn't really a street fight in my eyes. Let me kick this off. It wasn't really a street fight in my eyes. Reason why? Because I'm used to, when they sing street fights or stuff of that nature, I'm used to beating each other up, getting all types of weapons, all those Kento sticks and all those stuff, going backstage, climbing up the top and jumping. To me, this was not a street fight. It was a street fight in a small little aspect, especially when Mr. Drew McIntyre, he took his brother's phone and took a selfie, and then they basically was just saying was still bored at work.
It's funny, It's funny. It's funny. Magic J says that about a street fight, and I fall for it every single time, no matter how old he is. No, right? When I envision street fights, I think of WrestleMania. I think it was it 12 or 13? It was one of them, and it was in Chicago, and it was Roddy Piper versus Goldust. That's a street fight.
Oh, bro. Okay, fair enough.
But I fall for it every time, not realizing they've got to keep it in the ring so that everyone can see. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah. Again, you know what? If the majority, if not all of this WrestleMania card, night 1 and 2, the right person won in every situation. In this case, Drew McIntyre. He deserved to win for the simple reason he had, in my opinion, feud of the year last year with with CM Punk, right? And considering those two hated each other, I would have thought that Charlotte Flair would have took notes. I never really got to chime in on the whole Charlotte Flair situation. You know what I mean? They had feud of the year, CM Punk and Drew smashed it, and they hated each other. And unlucky Damien, but Drew deserved to win, man. Considering the work he did last year with CM Punk, I think that was his reward.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Nicky, what was your thoughts on that match?
Can I just say my predictions for night 2? I got every single one of them wrong. Every single one. I got everything on night 1. I was spot on. Night 2, every single one of them. Because with this particular match, it was a personal preference for me to predict Damian Priest to win. Because I really thought, because of with the backstage stuff, that I kind of thought it might have been a little bit predictable for Drew to win. So that's why I was more leaning towards Damian Priest, because of the backstage stuff, just putting those things together. But then when he lost, I was just like, all right then. I was like, well, Drew did give it in this match. So yeah, I get with this one, the right person won. For me, there's not too much back and forth about it. And I hate the fact that Damian Priest has put those crochet braids back on his head. I was fuming when he walked out. I said, now why has he got those crocheted braids? You sat and did. It was a good match. Let me just leave it there.
Well, I mean,
his stylist may have done that. I don't know if it was his idea.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. NXT did come out to Slayer.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good, man. I'm gonna keep my review of this quite short. I'll be honest. We've got an LA Knight situation, right? Damian Priest is a great wrestler, but what the fuck do you do with him?
Yeah.
Because he's won Money in the Bank. He was world champion. Cool. He's left Judgment Day. Cool. He's not going to win the Rumble next year. There ain't no way. But what do you do with him? And he doesn't really fit in. He doesn't really fit in any other promotion either. So I'm just kind of like, I don't. No, I'm like you're right. Like I'm glad you've got faith. Yeah,
with Damien, not Elaine. I got more faith with Damien because his.
Oh no, I've got faith with Damien, but I just don't know, because Punishment Martinez way back when, ROH, great character. Yeah. He's evolved since then, but I don't know what to do with him. I'm stumped. I don't know what to do with him. I don't know where to put him.
See, and that's the thing.
I'm hoping.
And they had a post-match interview with Drew, and it felt like a shoot anyway. He was just like, look, he was like, Damien's good, but he's got to find himself. We don't know who he is. And people don't know who he is. That's why they don't care. And you could tell there was this promo off in the lead up where there was Punk, all the big guys, and Damian Priest, and nobody cared about Damian Priest. I think Logan Paul got him. People don't even know who you are.
He might, because what intrigued me about him, the only thing I think was the latter part of last year, was this from New York City, street tough, came from nothing. And I'll beat you in front of your family, sort of thing. That character with taking no bullshit, when it was with Rhea Ripley, sort of them two, that sort of was heading in the right direction, and it just sort of fizzled out because of Judgment Day shit. But let me go through the match quickly. I thought that's a good idea. Put a hardcore match on second after an opener, regardless of how it went. Yeah. If the J match went brilliantly, even to keep the same interest, it could have been the best wrestling match in the world second, but a hardcore match does it justice. So it did. They were as creative with the violence as they could be. We have seen a lot of it before, but my God, one thing I'll say about Drew, apart from the fact that he looked so pissed off he was wearing that outfit for the advertisers and he was standing next to a weird ass globe for no bloody reason. The one thing I'll say about Drew, every PLE, I think I've seen the best Claymore ever. And then he always always does a better one. It's that Claymore that just caved in his head in the corner with the chair angle. Like it's a WrestleMania moment spot for me. Like that was wow. Yeah. And Drew did some of the match spots that we got to remember. He did I don't think he does this a lot, but he ran and did a fun full flip and landed. He stopped doing it as much, but just seeing it again. Woo. Yeah, good match for me, man. That's
Yeah, I feel like he's showing off a little bit, man. You could tell the vibe that I got from that match is just like Drew just felt like he was on another level, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's trying to prove he should be in the main event. I felt that.
Yeah.
From him as well.
Yeah. It was a bit of a mismatch, man. It was a bit of a mismatch. So yeah, but again, the right guy won, and it was a serviceable match, man. Again, if going back to the argument from night one, man, did it feel like it was WrestleMania worthy? It's a bit questionable. Maybe the standard of like other PLEs has come up to the point where Mania just doesn't feel as special anymore. That could be, I guess, something to think about.
The fatal four-way between Penta El Zero and Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Dirty Dom Dom.
Right.
You did not call him Dirty Dom Dom. Jeez.
Right.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Gee, man. That's my guy right here.
Was anybody surprised by the reception Dominic Mysterio got in this match?
Shocked.
No.
Shocked.
Really?
Because I didn't even have him down. Like, first of all, the reception, I was like, okay. And then for him to win, I was like, oh, right. Oh, okay. Because in my predictions, I gave it to Penta.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Penta win his first WrestleMania. He's had a great start to his whole WWE era. So yeah, very surprising.
Okay. But considering how hard Dominic was booed for like the last 2 years at least. Grant, what were your thoughts on this match?
Man, okay. I'm gonna keep mine short. I felt like the match was better than it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? It was one of the matches for me. I was like, yeah, anyway. But I thought it was even better than I even imagined. And I just want to talk about Carlito. As soon as he came out, I'm like, Carlito, what are you doing? You're gonna get killed again. What are you doing on the table? Get down, please get down. Oh, look at you now. Look at you now.
Like that big kid. Get down.
Get down from there. What are you doing, man? Braun Breaker. Get you.
Look at you now, you fool.
Killed me off. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that match. Well done, Dominic.
Lovely. All right, Mr. NXT.
Yeah, man. It was a fantastic match. The cheers for Dom. I think there's two parts to it. Part one is we're seeing the end of the Judgment Day potentially, finally. Like, I think people are like, thank God we're getting to the end of it now, right? And the other thing, I think it's almost like, especially when he won it, is relief almost, because he's a fucking talented guy. Like, he's a talented dude. Like, you can't get a better start than having Eddie Guerrero as your dad. So being able to finally showcase like his talent, do you know what I mean? I called. I'm gonna say it. I called Dirty Dom. I called it. Penta doesn't need to win. Braun, we obviously knew why he dropped it. Makes perfect sense now. And no one just gives a shit about Finn Balor. But it always begs the question, what if he never got injured? That's the thing, right? Because he was the reddest, hottest product when he won the Universal Championship. So where would he have been now?
He should have came down as the demon Finn Balor.
Should have came out. Well, they've got to bring it back.
Every time he puts on that outfit as the demon, yeah, he wins.
All I'm going to say is...
Roman killed that.
All I'm going to say, right, my final thing for it, before I let someone else speak, if The Rock is making a play, TKO are making a play for New Japan, first person to go back over is Finn Balor. Let him go back. Let him join the Bullet Club again, because that was peak Bullet Club. Let him go back, right? He doesn't look happy. He's doing his job, but he knows he's better than what he's doing. Like, he knows he is. I know he is. We all know he's better than that. So, like, let him go do his thing. But yeah, well done, Dirty Dom. Showed off really well. Really impressed.
Saya.
There's not much I can add to that hasn't already been said. I think, yeah, this was a trajectory of how WrestleMania should feel. Sick match, decent match, another fucking banger of interest. I think Braun was really looked to, like, I was expecting a lot more move sets from Penta, like interest and flamboyant, just nuttery, but they gave a lot of the offense to Braun here. We can see why, but he looked incredibly strong, like, through this match. I like the way Dom popped up as Finn was on the ropes, like, and then Finn reversed it and saw him, like, brilliant work. And I put this in the WhatsApp group. I was like, when Dom won and then ran back in and held the title and that reaction, I put in the WhatsApp group, like, this is one of my happiest moments of wrestling. And I was like, who would have fucking thought that this babyface Brer that I saw in Cardiff, who nutted his dad, hit him in the balls, who wore like terrible ring gear, would be one of my favorite things to ever happen in wrestling, where he wins the Intercontinental Championship. It's wow. That's all I've got to say. That's why fans shouldn't book wrestling. That right there.
I feel like that's the running theme. Yeah, I think he kicked Edge in the balls, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. And then he goes like his dad. Yeah,
it is a shock to see that he was literally the most over babyface of the whole night 1 and night 2, more or less. Which is crazy. Like, even in the post match, like, people go mental for him. So I think when you get a reaction like that, they can't keep him heel much longer, man. So
no, he's gonna be face soon.
Yeah, face for the chicken tendies, man. See, that's the sponsorship they missed, man. Where was the chicken tendies?
They probably didn't bring the bag.
Instead of bloody dude wipes.
Really hated them dude wipes, bro.
So up next was Randy Orton.
And then the special guest was,
which nobody, I don't care.
Go ahead,
Adrian. Prediction shows nobody called that. Nicky,
nobody called it.
That's a lie, because I did on TikTok.
No.
Oh,
that's
what
a lie.
What do you think, Joe Henry?
Listen,
you said you got all your predictions wrong this night.
No. I totally forgot about that, because come on, that was all of 5 minutes. It was kind of forgettable. But if you go on my TikTok, I did call it. And as a woman, it is my right within my nature to go digging for information. And I'll say that.
So you got the inside scoop.
If you literally, if anyone, guys, my TikTok is oh so Nicky. Go on my TikTok. I said it. I said it. Literally, this was about 3 hours before the 3-4 hours I recorded the video and posted it straight away. No editing, no nothing. I said it.
Oh my God. I gotta get you to pick my lottery numbers this week. Right. Mr. NXT, what did we think of this brief match?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't. It's like
that boring.
No, all I'm gonna keep it to is a lot of people are saying that WWE did TNA dirty. I think the exact opposite.
Yeah, right? I agree.
People are going to tune in to watch TNA for Joe Hendry, right? Because that's what they're doing, right? If anyone was unaware of him up until this point, the casuals, they only tune in for Mania, they only tune in for Royal Rumble. If they're not really aware of the guy, now they've seen him in the ring a little bit, they've seen him do his finisher, they've seen all that kind of stuff. Am I going to say they're going to become diehard TNA fans? No. But even if it just draws a little bit of attention to it, I think it's the right thing.
I'm going to say two things. Again, watch it at my mum's. Watch it as a family. We don't like Joe Hendry. Okay? It's like, well done, Randy. Yes, RKO him back to TNA. That's it. That's good. But I do see what...
You don't believe.
I don't. No. Eurovision Song Contest, dude. No. You know what I mean? Yeah, but Wardlow's right in that regard. The second thing I want to mention is that Randy Orton's theme music, though, man. I hear voices in my head. Now the camera's going to people in the audience. People are really feeling that tune, you know. People are absolutely.
He got
They're really into it. Oh, we were rolling, man. We were, as a family, we were in stitches. That tune, that should be Christmas #1 by the end of this year.
You know, and that's the clarity we needed, man. That was Orton's Undertaker John Cena moment for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this segment was brilliantly entertaining and fun. Like I'm happy it was Joe Hendry. I think the spot where he turned around and got RKO'd, it's a great WrestleMania moment. We needed some entertainment. Like we didn't actually have a lot of wrestling. We just had a lot of sponsors and shots of celebrities in the crowd. But we needed some like breath before like the next two matches.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect if he wasn't TNA champion. In my opinion, to protect, and you have to protect the world heavyweight champion for me. So for me, what I would have maybe have done, and it's not good, by the way, it's not good. It's just because he's TNA champion. I would have maybe done a cool segment, and then I would have done a tag team match where they teamed up, and the worst two people in the world, Austin Theory and that guy, would have come out, and they would have tag teamed together just to protect the champion. It's not good. It's not better than what we saw, but it's to protect the champion. That's all. Otherwise, yeah.
Let him win and then RKO him.
Yeah, RKO him after. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do it together, and then he fucking. That'd be great. But yeah,
right.
Logan Paul versus AJ, which the Maverick, the social media guru, won.
Yeah.
I know no one's impressed. I mean, Nicky's shaking her ears like, yeah, fuck this match, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, Grant Body P's like, oh.
It's an investment in the future. It's an investment in the future, right? Logan Paul says he's going to be more committed. He's going to do more shit. Yeah. So it's an investment for the future. It's as simple as that. It doesn't bother AJ. Doesn't matter if he loses. He still looks $1 million. Doesn't matter. Logan Paul, hate to say it, he's good. He's good. His new finisher is fantastic. I'm not a fan, just to be clear, I'm not, but like it's an investment for the future because who's retiring soon? Well, it's not Logan Paul, is it? Let's be real. So they did what they needed to do, and AJ made him look like a fucking $1 million. And thankfully, no KSI, stupid prime bottle spot, none of that nonsense. But the guy fucked it though. His mate fucked it. When he went to throw him in the trolley, he bottled it, didn't he? Surely we all spotted. Surely we spotted it. He was running straight in the trolley and then dived off. He completely missed the trolley. So he bottled it when he was supposed to go into it.
Can I just jump on that just a little bit? I actually don't think this was a good match at all.
I never said it was a good match. I just said they did what they needed to do.
Yeah. I don't think Logan Paul looked like $1 million. That's probably the part that I disagreed with. I do think that I do agree with what you said. I think I got 3 predictions wrong for the whole of Mania, and this was one of them. Because I just couldn't bring myself to not choose AJ. It was just so insulting for a New Japan decorated Mr. TNA, one of the best wrestlers in the world, next to names like Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay.
Oh, bro, it hurt me. It hurt me when I said Logan Paul on a prediction. It hurt me, but
and I get the prediction because I agree. He said, "I'm full timer. I'm not taking part. I'm taking over." That's his thing. So that storyline told me. I was on the phone with my brother. I'm like, you know what? He's gonna win. But I don't. I forgot what podcast I was listening to. But a wrestler said that Logan Paul is not a wrestler. He's just he's good at spots. Now, I don't completely agree with that. I think he has got timing. He has got he's got facial character awareness and tells stories in the ring. But I think they have relied on this spot heavy, 3 spots in a match to really make it amplify, because we've got over the honeymoon of him being a YouTuber wrestler now. It's got to the point okay, now
do this.
Now make me really interested as if you were a wrestler. Do you know what I mean? And I think he might struggle with that. And I think only storyline's going to help him. I don't think he's got the ring awareness to do that in the ring because a lot of the great wrestlers can do that without a good story. They've done it through the Vince era, so many of them, Sammy, all of these people, right? But I don't think Logan's got what it takes yet to achieve it without a good storyline or a big spot. Yeah, that's how I felt about the match, really.
Fair.
Too long as well.
I want to add on really quickly. I think this whole situation with Logan Paul, right? I want to take it on this angle. my favorite wrestler of all time, The Undertaker, pulled up he pulled up Logan Paul one time, and he said this in interviews before. He says, "Yo, Logan, it's like this. You're doing all this flying stuff and flippity stuff, right? But then the crowd are going to be used to you doing that. So what's going to happen at, say, big WrestleMania? What are you going to do then? Have you got something? They're going to want you to do something more and more and more. And when you ain't got no more, then it's like, get bored. And I think that's what happened with AJ Styles and Logan Paul. You know what I mean? I think we were kind of expecting something crazy, spectacular. But for Logan Paul, it's been for him, it's been hard to top what he did with Ricochet at that one Royal Rumble. And since then, it's just like, okay. And that's what Undertaker was trying to tell Logan Paul. He says, yo, dude, you can't be doing all that in every match you do. You know what I mean? Because the fans would expect something bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you can't top it. Then what are you going to do? That's what I'm going to say about that. Y'all can move on.
All right, cool. Shall we move on?
Nicky's got to tell us Wagwan. What do you think of the match?
I didn't watch it because I fell asleep after the entrance.
She don't give a fuck about the match. Let's move on.
No, yeah, I didn't. But AJ, that's the one thing I agree. AJ, he looks fantastic. He's in great shape. He looks great, and that's it.
One thing before we move on, because I feel like we've been quite harsh on Paul. There is also another argument that says a lot of the AJ matches are like that because there hasn't been much character development or story driven in a lot of his feuds in the last 10 years. A lot of them are just a bunch of moves and then a finish. So it might not just be all the stigma against Paul, because a lot of the AJ matches have planned out that way in WWE. Not all of the WWE matches.
I thought we were finding a level, brother, and then you say that ridiculousness like that. I am shocked and appalled.
I'm just I'll give you an example. LA Knight versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it was a better match, but it felt the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's move on, man.
Women's tag team championship. The Judgment Days, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
That's the wrong one, man. That's not next. The next match is the full circle reignite. Yes, it's the reignitation of the feud of Stone Cold and Rikishi. Because someone run him over however many years ago, and this Brer reunited the story straight away. He got in his ATV. I don't know how she's connected, this lady. I don't know if she's related to Rikishi. I know that The Rock owns the company now, but we got to get to the bottom of this right now, all of us, yeah? So how is this? What's next for Stone Cold, and how is Rikishi involved, and what's this lady going to do to get her revenge?
What's Rikishi?
All I know, that might be the last time we see him drive one of those, because I think we all had a moment of clarity afterwards where we saw a man get in a ring, drink about 5 beers, and was actually going to drive back up a long ramp. And I think somebody said to him, "Nah, mate, you're not driving that again."
Nick Khan said it. Nick Khan was there.
Also, he almost slipped out of the ring. So I don't know if anyone saw. And these times, he weren't even drinking beers on that side of the ring. So it's not like it was slippery. He almost dropped when he was leaving. And I was like, yeah, you need to get it together, sir. Get it together.
He was drunk beforehand. He was drunk before in backstage.
Oh, yeah.
He meant the Undertaker was backstage drinking beers or something.
I get all of that, but is Rikishi coming back or not?
Nah, he's on his podcast, bro.
I hope that lady got paid. That's what I'm gonna say.
She will get paid. She ain't paid after this.
The fact that the president of the company had to go and console her personally, bro, that was wild.
I got no sympathy. She was in the back seat of the car when Rikishi ran over Stone Cold and took the money from AAA. So I don't care about this lady. I swear down.
Fair enough. But we've got to move on. It's nearly midnight. All right,
WWE is it the WWE tag team champions, the Judgment Days, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, versus is it Lara Valkyrie and the man Becky Lynch. Oh God, this match! Oh Lord of mercy!
I thought we were done with toilet break matches. I thought we were done with it. I thought there was a thing of the past. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to the women involved, but they were done dirty and wrong placement on the card. And I'll be honest, it was a very poor effort, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Didn't really do much for anybody in that match.
Okay. Cool. Nikki?
Again, fell asleep during the match again.
Ooh.
It didn't give, but again, through my sources, I knew Becky Lynch was coming back. So when I heard her music, I kind of got up and I was like, oh yeah, they're matching. I went, oh yeah, she did come back. And I was like, okay, let me just put my head down for a few more minutes before the main event. Because I didn't really understand it until today when I watched Raw, but that's just about it. Also, I'm so over Liv and Raquel. I'm so sorry. I'm so over them.
Liv and Raquel or just Raquel?
Why do you see into my mind? Leave me alone. like people think I'm mean when I'm talking about this. No, I'm so over Raquel. Like, she needs to be in a tag team. And I've never seen somebody of her stature needing to be in a tag team.
She needs to go back to NXT. She needs to go back to NXT.
Yeah, I'm very over Raquel. Sorry, Raquel.
Because once upon a time, she was up there with like your Ripley's and your Bianca Belairs. She was like, they were like three of them. They were the ones.
You know what killed her? She kept smiling. Yeah, and she kept showing her back.
Oh, the back, the back.
It made no sense.
It's
diminished her. Yeah, but it diminished her. It really actually had a huge effect on no one invested in her because he was like, why are you smiling? What are you smiling for? Like, what are you so happy about? And then I've seen your back. I'll see it in the match. You don't need to turn around in the entrance and show it to me. I'll see it. Like, it's cool. What is it about you where I should care if you beat someone up or not, or if you lose or not? What is it?
Yeah.
And it might not be her fault. It might be creator's fault, but we've talked about it. Wrestlers put themselves over in matches. Karrion Kross is an example. Sami Zayn's Gable's a huge example. You got to show some initiative.
I'm sure we're overlooking the Easter egg here. I think we all cut the Easter egg, and that was when Becky was announced. It was the look on Liv Morgan's face. Liv Morgan, she looked shook. She was sitting herself because if my calculation served me correctly, it was Liv that took Becky Lynch out the game, and then Becky Lynch was like, "All right, let me go on. I'm gonna look after my kid," and then come back. When she come back now, it was Liv she come for. So Liv was like, "Oh shit!" And then them lose the titles. Outside of that, on to the next one.
The main event, undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena, you can't see me. Yeah, I like him now. That's my guy now. That's my guy. Bad guy.
Yeah, the right guy won for storyline reasons. Everyone, because Cena's like, I'm gonna take this belt and I'm going to my yard, and that's it. No one get the belt again. So now your CM Punks, your Romans, your Seths, everyone's gonna be like, oh, for real? No, fuck you. And they're all gonna go for Cena and boss up his class. Now, the match itself, I think it was very slow paced. I don't know if it may have been done by design. There was telling a story. I understand that. But if Cody was acting like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to let you get the 17 times, Cody should have went in. I don't think he did. Cody was like, oh, I don't know. Should I hit you with the belt? I'm not too sure. Oh, I can't do it. And then John Cena was like, oh, fuck you. And then kick him, and then kick him his dick, and then that was the end of it. To be honest, I probably expected too much. I expected a WrestleMania 17 like title match where it took Austin like 100 shots with the chair to take down The Rock, and just to get the title. And I was hoping Cena would do the same thing to get the 17 because Cody, we know he can take a beating. We know Cody, he's fought in Hell in a Cell with that big out thing on his shoulder at the time. And we know Cody's tough, so for the match to go the way it did, I get the storytelling, but I was like, nah, man, where's the violence? Disappointed.
I'm so disappointed to say that this match was like a 4 or 5 out of 10 for me. The energy was not there for me. And the one thing I said in my TikTok video that should not happen, happened. I said, if your name is Travis Scott and Travis Scott only, I beg, oh yeah, please stay at home. And he didn't stay at home. Like, Travis Scott and his 3 earrings really came and interfered in this level of a match. And this is why I'm not really happy with the use of celebrity in WWE right now. Even going when you guys were talking about the Logan Paul match, I didn't have nothing to say because I didn't watch that match. But then I don't like it. I don't like it, even though he is good. I don't like it, but then he's actually an in-ring competitor. I don't know. This thing with Travis Scott makes zero sense to me. I don't care if he did the song. The song ain't got nothing to do with what's happening in the ring. And we're really forgetting something important here. John Cena has a legacy, which he's trying to bring around full circle. And you have people, Travis Scott came to help John Cena. In what planet is that okay? Like, no, for me, that was awful. Even just the finish, low energy finish. But then you see earlier on, I said there was something about my prediction in my mind that was just me in denial. I didn't want Cody to lose the title, but I knew he had to lose the title because WWE cannot let John Cena on his farewell tour lose this title at WrestleMania, especially at this point where it means so much. For him to get it on the 17th time only makes sense at WrestleMania. It could have been done in a bigger way, but I went, like when he won it, I just went, I can't lie, I was quite pissed off. I had such an attitude going to bed at 4 something in the morning, and I had an attitude the next day when I woke up. But we knew we needed this to happen, and it happened. But in terms of energy, the whole rating, I give it 4.5, 5 out of 10.
We knew Cena was going to win, and it was from back. I think it was Barcelona on the European tour. I think it was Barcelona, and it was the one line in the promo where Cena says, "It's because you care too much about them." The whole point of that match was to show Cody and his inevitable heel turn. Whenever that is in the next 12 months, 6 to 12 months, that's all we're building up to. That's the whole point of that match. And it was slow, Grand Body Pete, absolutely, because it's intentionally slow. Because everyone expects the high energy, the Cody cutters flying here, there, and everywhere. They're expecting the 5-knuckle shuffle. They're expecting all the bells and whistles. So he didn't do it. He didn't do it because it's the storyline. He didn't give him the grand entrance because it's the storyline. The only thing that I think was missing, and I really wanted them to do it, was the Batista spotlight. Way back when, I think that would have been the only thing for me for John Cena's entrance. Because I thought the entrance was fantastic. I'll be real, I thought it was fantastic. If it came out to no music and the spotlight,
his mark was dope.
I guarantee this. I believe he probably asked for no music, and they said no.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. But honestly, I think John Cena, it's not just because it's the 17th or anything like that. It is the right decision. Way more can come from this, and we're going to get the Cody heel turn. Probably SummerSlam-ish, maybe around that time. I thought the match was great. I do. I think it told the story really, really well. And it showcased the fact that, fuck the fans. I'm going to do what I want.
Because the fans turned on Cody, man. They're booing Cody crazy now.
But that's the point. And that's why John Cena, the one time he smiled was in his entrance when he got in the ring and he was facing Cody. He smiled. He smiled because they were cheering for him. They were cheering for John. And it's the storyline. And they've absolutely smashed it. They've absolutely smashed it.
Entrance, bang on. Had to be that. Cody coming in, cool. We all knew he'd get booed. Now, when it comes to the pacing of this match, I wasn't one of those people that thought there would be high spots, fast Cody moves, and fast high spots from Cena. I knew we reluctantly was going to get a slow heel Cena out of his comfort zone, because he doesn't do that a lot, beating and wearing down Cody. I actually enjoyed the theatrics. Any other match, dog shit. Like any other match, dog shit. But this added to the story. Only if the final third of this match would have been overbooked, like Mania. Not as overbooked, but that storyline, if you're not going to give us a good wrestling match and you're just going to give us drama like that, like the bloodline, like everything else, you have to finish it properly. Now, one major, I'm not even talking about Travis at the moment. I'll get to him. But one major problem I had with this was Cody held the title in 2 minds of hitting Cena. Doesn't do it. Cena kicks him in the dick and hits him with the title. I'm okay with that finish. because that's how we beat him down in Elimination
Cody got
Chamber.
soft, brother. You forgot to put that in. Cody got fucking soft and go, oh my God.
Yeah, Magic, let me land. Let me land. Let me land.
Let him make his point.
Let me land. The biggest problem with that moment, and I understand the storyline between the crowd and you can't listen to them, and I get that's what they're doing. I'm not that interested in that. He overcame that character arc with Kevin. He overcame the character arc with that at the Royal Rumble. When he couldn't go too far to beat Kevin and he couldn't get gritty at the Royal Rumble, he did, injured him. But Saturday night, I can't remember whatever it was, that was the character arc he overcame, and he should have taken that into Mania. There is no two minds. There's no two minds. It doesn't make sense of the story at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you're telling that story, and this is why this wasn't predicted. This is why The Rock last minute did this, because this wasn't the main event of Mania. It wasn't. It was going to be possibly Gunther and Cena, and Cody was going to tell the story with him holding the belt, it getting heavier, and all his friends one by one leaving him. Like, that's what they were telling. And then The Rock came in and Travis, it's not about, I get what Triple H's like, hey man, more eyes on us, innit? That's good. I'm like, yeah, but where's the self-awareness? I have never watched a movie where the bad guy has been so good and the movie was shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, the movie still has to be good. The storyline has to be good. It doesn't matter what kind of, like, I'm going to wrestle bad by purpose. I'm not going to entertain you by purpose. There's a limit to that. To purposely give us a celebrity run-in to finish the match because he wants to end wrestling and kill it, and that's the storyline. That's just not good enough.
But what do you think about The Rock saying that the final boss character arc was finished at Elimination Chamber? So there was no intention of The Rock coming or getting involved.
Look, all respect to The Rock. Loved him growing up. He's talking shit. There's the whole of the internet, the IWC, where we're not allowed to have opinions, have said you shouldn't have got involved because you've told a different story and then you didn't show up to close it. The only place to close it was Mania.
So that was Mania. Guys, give us your @. Where can people follow you guys? Starting with Mr. NXT.
I'm on X, the real Mr. NXT on X.
Grant,
Thank you, my
Buddy
friends.
P.
Instagram at infamous Grant Body P.
Yeah.
I'm Nicky _ on Instagram.
Follow Nicky's podcast. Mega Powers, handshake before we go. Thank you, guys. It was amazing.
Mega power.